The slightest criticism, a small inconvenience, if you let these things unsettle you, you are surrendering your power. The most resilient people aren't those with fewer problems. They are the ones who have mastered their internal response. Picture moving through your day undisturbed. No spiraling thoughts. No emotional turbulence. Just profound command. In this discussion, I'll show you how to cultivate that very mindset, to behave as though nothing phases you, so you escape being a prisoner to your feelings and start directing them. When you own this ability, no external force can ever truly govern you again. 1. The foundation of unshakable composure. The world is full of distraction, opinions, daily irritations, unforeseen challenges. Existence constantly tests your focus. But what if genuine power was born from perfect poise? Envision weathering a gale without a shudder, without losing your center. This is the essence of remaining undisturbed. The core lesson: separate your internal state from outside events. When you permit external happenings to control your mood, you become a marionette. But when you teach your psyche to stay centered, you become the author of your fate. Society notices those who are calm amid disorder, who stand firm under strain. Embody this, and you wield a quiet authority. You navigate life with potency, with grounded assurance. Consider the most impactful figures from history. They were not the ones who snapped at every provocation. They operated with a demeanor of command, as if privy to a secret the masses missed. Their strength lay not in loud retaliation, but in their capacity to stay unruffled. This is the true might of poised detachment. Reflect on the wisdom from texts on self-mastery. Thought precedes deed. What you consistently think, you become. If you habitually respond with raw emotion, you relinquish strength. But if you foster a steadfast mentality, reality begins to align with your will. The truly accomplished grasp this. Command your mind, and you command your world. Imagine a scene: someone publicly disrespects you. The instinct for many is rage or rebuttal. But what occurs when you merely offer a slight nod and continue on your way? You strip the provocation of its force. They anticipated a dramatic reply, and its absence leaves them disarmed. You, however, depart fortified, undiminished. This is a quiet dominance few comprehend, but all respect. The same applies to stumbling blocks. Faced with defeat, many let emotion consume them, wallowing in regret. But those who understand poised detachment view failure purely as information, a lesson, a necessary adjustment. They do not take it personally. They analyze, adapt, and advance. How do you build this level of command? It starts with daily mental exercise. Practice the ritual of halting before you respond. Inquire: does this truly impact my overarching aims? Is my reply essential, or am I ceding power? By consistently choosing mindful non-reaction, you forge armor against life's trivialities. Another vital tool is mental rehearsal. Visualize yourself as someone who proceeds through chaos unaffected. Picture a you who doesn't bristle at insults, who doesn't buckle under weight. When you cement this self-image in your consciousness, it materializes. The psyche is potent. What you repeatedly envision, you become. Let others speculate on your calm. Let them question your composure. Because when you demonstrate that nothing rattles you, you control the dynamic. You become a puzzle, admired but not deciphered. And in that mystery resides your fortitude. Real power isn't loud aggression. It's a presence so solid it requires no validation. A demeanor that earns respect through stillness, through an immovable frame of mind. Master this, and you master existence. 2. The discipline of emotional anchoring. Think of the steadiest person you know. They don't act on impulse. They don't let passing feelings dictate their moves. They stop, they evaluate, they answer with intention. This isn't emotional absence, it's emotional mastery. Detaching isn't about suppressing what you feel, it's about governing it. Envision this: you're in a heated exchange and the other person is trying to incite you. Do you take the bait? Do you let their language hijack your peace? Or do you remain composed, knowing their words hold zero weight unless you grant it? Emotional anchoring is the refusal to hand your inner serenity to outside forces. It's the understanding that your internal world is sacred, inviolable. Adopt this approach, and stress diminishes. Clarity expands. Life's trials become puzzles to solve, not wars to wage. Recall the principle: your focus shapes your reality. What you fixate on, you attract. If you let external events dictate your mental state, you become a servant to circumstance. But when you seize control of your thoughts and feelings, you become the builder of your destiny. Ponder the tale of an individual who lost it all: business, wealth, security. Most would sink into despair, but he did not. He saw the collapse not as a tragedy, but as essential instruction. He knew his mind was his ultimate resource, and no external loss could steal that. With this perspective, he reconstructed everything, more robust than before. This is the power of anchored detachment. When you cease identifying with every setback, you liberate yourself to transcend them. A prime reason people abandon their objectives is emotional volatility. They allow fear, uncertainty, and irritation to stir them. They begin with drive but quit at the first major hurdle. Those who master detachment recognize emotions as transient sensations. They don't permit temporary feelings to sabotage lasting missions. They persist because they've trained their cognition to see barriers as stepping stones, not dead ends. Cultivating this anchored state doesn't render you cold. It means you no longer let outside forces dictate your inner climate. You can feel joy, sorrow, passion, but you remain at the helm. Your emotions serve you, not the opposite. To develop this, practice stepping back in charged moments. Next time someone slights you, pause. Observe the feeling arising. Ask, does this meaningfully alter my life? Usually the answer is no. By electing not to engage, you revoke their influence. Detachment also springs from crystalline purpose. When your vision is definite, petty distractions lose their grip. Your concentration becomes unbreakable because you know your energy is too precious to squander on what doesn't serve you. The world belongs to those who govern themselves. The more you nurture emotional command, the more unstoppable you grow. While others lose their heads, you stay collected. While others explode, you respond. And in that space, you gain an edge few will ever possess. Authentic strength isn't physical supremacy. It's an unshakable presence that commands respect without asking for it. When you master the craft of emotional anchoring, you don't just experience life, you direct it. 3, the power of focused indifference. minor annoyance, you regain the reins. You shift from being emotionally volatile to being strategically responsive. And that shift changes everything. Think of those you most admire. They aren't desperately seeking approval or exploding at each challenge. They are the ones who stand firm, undisturbed by the world's noise. They know their core, and thus they cannot be easily swayed or manipulated. When you adopt this stance, something remarkable occurs. People begin to respect you more, not because you sought their validation, but because they perceive you as immovable. Imagine a scenario. Someone criticizes you unjustly. The insecure react instantly, defending, over-explaining, striking back. The strong, however, stay tranquil. They comprehend that words only possess power if they allow it. By not reacting, they maintain control of the situation and of themselves. That self-respect commands more regard than any outburst ever could. The same rule applies to achievement. Those who reach heights aren't wasting vitality on petty concerns. They are laser-focused on their targets, refusing to be sidetracked by trivial dramas or external verdicts. They operate with lucidity, knowing every moment spent fretting over irrelevancies is a moment stolen from their ascent. So, how do you foster this level of focused indifference? Begin by auditing your reactions. Next time you feel anger, frustration, or anxiety bubbling over something minor, halt. Ask, is this worth my vital energy? Most often the answer is no. Train yourself to release what doesn't serve you. Another potent practice is setting unambiguous priorities. Define what genuinely matters: your purpose, your growth, your inner peace. When you have a solid foundation of self-worth, the opinions of others lose their hold. You become untouchable, not because you care about nothing, but because you care profoundly about the right things. This is the secret most never learn. True power lies not in seeking approval, but in being unmoved by disapproval. It's found in the ability to walk away from what drains you, to rise above petty conflicts, and to stay centered in a distracted world. In the end, it's not about caring less. It's about caring wisely. It's about choosing where to direct your life force and refusing to waste it on what doesn't merit your attention. Master the art of focused indifference, and you don't just survive, you thrive. 4. The liberation of self-validation. Seeking approval is a cage. It places your contentment in others' hands, making you reliant on their endorsement. The truth? No one's assessment of you should carry more weight than your own. The instant you grant someone else the authority to define your worth, you lose command of your own life. Real confidence isn't given, it's constructed through self-reliance, through knowing you don't need anyone's permission to exist as you are. Consider the most compelling people you've met. They don't plead for acceptance. They don't diminish themselves to belong. They fully own their identity, imperfections included, and that's what makes them formidable. Their strength resides in an unwavering sense of self. The craving for approval is rooted in fear. Fear of rejection, of judgment, of solitude. But here's the reality. The more you chase endorsement, the more you surrender your power. You become a captive to expectations, contorting yourself to fit molds designed by others. And in doing so, you betray your essence. Freedom emerges when you drop the need to be liked by everyone. It's a mirage to think universal approval is possible. No matter what you do, someone will always comment. Some will admire you, others will critique you, and many won't care at all. So why expend your life force trying to please the multitude? Reflect on world changers, leaders, innovators, creators. They aren't preoccupied with fitting in. They are propelled by vision, by mission, by an inner fire. They face condemnation yet remain unshaken. Their confidence is built on something far sturdier than public opinion It's built on self-belief. And that is what makes them relentless. If you wish to escape the approval trap, start by inquiring whose opinion actually matters. Often, the loudest voices belong to those not walking your path, who don't grasp your journey. Their words bear no real weight unless you allow them. Another critical step is learning to validate yourself. Acknowledge your own progress. Celebrate your victories, however small. When you begin recognizing your own worth, external approval becomes superfluous. You no longer require applause to feel valuable. You simply know you are. Detaching from validation doesn't mean becoming arrogant. It means standing firm in who you are. It means respecting your own choices, your own path, and refusing to let others dictate your direction. It means understanding that your value is not up for debate. The moment you stop seeking external validation is the moment you start living authentically. You no longer filter your speech, actions, or dreams through the lens of others' expectations. You move through life with genuineness, with boldness, with a sense of mission that cannot be disturbed. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will back you. And that's fine. Those who matter will respect you, not because you sought their approval, but because you don't need it. So, choose yourself. Stand firm in your convictions, in your principles, in your vision. Release the need for external endorsement and embrace the power of self-acceptance. Because once you do, you become unassailable, not because you have everyone's approval, but because you no longer require it. 5. The strategic response to criticism. Critique is unavoidable, but your handling of it defines your fortitude. Most people disintegrate at the first hint of disapproval. They take every remark to heart, letting it shape their identity, direct their actions, and weaken their resolve. But why? Criticism is merely language, opinions and perspectives often from those who don't understand your journey. The fact is, criticism only holds the power you assign it. React emotionally, and you let it control you. Filter it through reason, and you retain command. The most resilient individuals don't let critique shake them. They assess it with a clear head, extract what's useful, and discard the remainder. No superfluous emotion, no overreaction, just selective attention to what truly serves growth. The pivotal lesson: process criticism with logic, not feeling. Keep what aids you, ignore what doesn't, and never let someone's viewpoint disrupt your inner peace. There are two varieties, constructive and destructive. Constructive critique is invaluable. It helps you evolve. It comes from those with experience, insight, and a sincere wish to see you improve. This is feedback to welcome. Destructive criticism, however, is designed to tear down. It often springs from envy, insecurity, or ignorance. These viewpoints are meaningless unless you mistakenly internalize them. Picture a sculptor crafting a masterpiece. As he works, spectators gather. Some admire, some offer useful notes, others mock. Does the sculptor abandon his vision due to a few negative voices? No. He continues, guided by his internal vision, tuning out the noise. This is how you must approach critique. When someone criticizes you, ask, does this person possess the experience or credibility to judge? If yes, weigh their words. If no, proceed. Not every voice deserves your audience. Most criticism originates from people who've never attempted what you're doing. Their language reflects their own limitations, not yours. Criticism is an examination of emotional resilience. The weak-minded react impulsively. They get defensive, argue, or retreat into self-doubt. The strong stay unperturbed. They acknowledge the feedback, process it, but never let it disturb their core calm. When you answer criticism with composed indifference, you show the world your confidence is ironclad. Reflect on history's great minds, visionaries, creators, leaders. Each faced relentless critique. Their ideas were doubted, their decisions questioned. Yet they advanced, refusing to let outside noise deter them. Their capacity to stand firm amidst doubt set them apart. They understood criticism is often the toll for progress. If you want to build this mentality, practice detachment. Next time you're criticized, pause. Don't react instantly. Instead, analyze, is there value here? If yes, learn. If not, dismiss. Master this habit, and you free yourself from the emotional burden of seeking universal approval. Another potent method is fostering inner conviction. When you truly believe in your path, external opinions lose their grip. Confidence emanates from within, not from others' approval or disapproval. The moment you realize this, you gain immunity to shallow criticism. The world will always have commentary. Some will praise, others will doubt. But ultimately, the only assessment that truly counts is your own. Authentic power lies in the ability to hear critique, evaluate it rationally, and move forward without losing focus. So next time someone criticizes you, remember, it's just sound. Learn from it if applicable, but never let it define you. The strongest people don't fear criticism. They utilize it wisely, or they ignore it completely. 6, poise when pressure mounts. Pressure reveals character. Some fracture, some collapse, but the strong remain steady. Why? Because they prepare their minds before the tempest hits. They comprehend that pressure isn't an exception, it's a guarantee. And when you anticipate challenges, you cease being shocked by them. The secret is to detach from the craving for total control. Recognize this: not everything will proceed as planned. People will let you down. Obstacles will emerge. Unexpected reversals will occur. But you do not react with emotion. You respond with strategy, with calm calculation. Most people crack under strain because they resist reality. They expect everything to be smooth, predictable, and within their grasp. And when life proves otherwise, they panic, they complain, they freeze. But those who train to embrace uncertainty adapt. They move with the chaos, not against it. Think of an experienced soldier. He doesn't enter combat expecting an easy fight. He anticipates resistance, ambushes, and unforeseen threats. Yet he stays composed. Why? Because he has already accepted the reality of conflict. He doesn't waste energy wishing for ease. Instead, he focuses on execution. You must adopt the same mindset. The world will test you. It will hurl stress, failure, and doubt your way. But if you've trained to be poised under pressure, nothing will unsettle you. While others flail in panic, you will move with precision. You will not react, you will respond. There is power in mastering control, not over external events, but over yourself. When you no longer need everything to be perfect, you become unstoppable. When you understand pressure is inevitable, you stop fearing it. Instead, you see it for what it truly is, an opportunity to refine your composure. Reflect on the greatest leaders, the most unshakable individuals. They don't flinch in chaos. They don't crumble when things go wrong. Instead, they radiate calm, certainty, and command. This is what makes them distinctive. People observe them and wonder, how does nothing seem to faze them? How do they stay so composed while others disintegrate? It's because they've conditioned their minds to expect difficulty. They've rehearsed their responses before the test arrives. They understand that emotions cloud judgment, so they detach from non-essential feelings. They prioritize logic over panic, and in doing so, they maintain an advantage most will never possess. To construct this level of control, begin by shifting your perspective on pressure. View it as a game, a test of your discipline. When confronted with stress, challenge yourself to remain poised. Observe your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Another essential practice is preparation. The strongest don't wait for pressure to arrive. They train for it mentally. Rehearse worst-case scenarios. Condition your psyche to stay steady under duress. When you do this, nothing catches you off guard. You become a strategist, not a reactor. Most people navigate life unprepared, relying on hope rather than discipline. They expect favorable conditions, and when reality disagrees, they collapse. But those who train their minds for adversity do not break. They do not fold. They remain standing, undisturbed. So the next time pressure builds, remind yourself, this is my examination, my moment to demonstrate control. While others panic, you will breathe. While others react, you will calculate. And when the storm passes, you will remain unmoved, unshaken, unbreakable. 7, the art of releasing the uncontrollable. Suffering often stems from attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to things beyond our influence. We clutch tightly to how we think life should unfold, and when reality diverges from our desires, we feel pain. But genuine mental strength resides in letting go. Visualize a river. Water flows around obstacles, never resisting, never struggling. It doesn't demand rocks move aside, nor does it stop flowing when met with resistance. It adapts. That's how you must approach existence. Certain events will occur regardless of your worry. The opportunity that didn't materialize, the person who left, the setback you didn't foresee. You can either resist and suffer, or you can adapt and advance. The choice is perpetually yours. Letting go isn't surrender. It's redirecting your focus to what you can control. Clinging to expectations makes you fragile. It traps you in a loop of frustration, replaying the past, questioning what might have been different. But when you embrace the fact that some elements are beyond your sway, you liberate yourself from needless anguish. Think of the strongest people you know. They aren't the ones fighting the inevitable. They are the ones who stay calm amidst uncertainty. They've mastered detachment, not from life, but from the illusion of control. They understand life is unpredictable, and peace comes from flowing with it, not against it. Most expend energy trying to force results. They tether their happiness to specific outcomes. If plans work, they feel content. If not, they fall apart. This is a fragile way to live. Strength comes from adaptability. When you detach from rigid expectations, you develop a resilience that makes you unstoppable. No event, no disappointment, no setback can break you. The key to letting go is awareness. Next time you find yourself gripping something too tightly, an outcome, a person, an expectation, pause. Ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Don't waste your vitality on what you cannot change. Instead, redirect it toward what moves you forward. Detachment is a skill requiring practice. Start small. Let go of minor irritations, the slow cue, the delayed train, the altered plan. Notice how freeing it feels to not react, to not let external circumstances dictate your mood. Gradually apply this mindset to larger challenges. Some may confuse detachment with indifference. They are not the same. Indifference is apathy, a refusal to engage with life. Detachment, however, is a profound understanding. You can participate in life fully without being ruled by its uncertainties. You can care deeply about your goals, relationships, and experiences, but you don't have to suffer when things deviate from expectation. The moment you choose to release what you can't control, you become untouchable. You walk through life with a serenity others admire but cannot fathom. While they are consumed by frustration and disappointment, you remain steady, unshaken. They wonder how you do it, why nothing seems to disturb your composure. The truth? You've simply mastered the art of letting go. So stop resisting. Accept what is. Adapt to what comes. And above all, remember, the strongest minds do not cling, they flow. Just like the river, they move forward untouched by the rocks in their path. If this resonated with you, hit the like button. It genuinely supports this channel. And for more content to help you master your mind, make sure you are subscribed to Winds of Thought.